Hollywood stars went to great lengths to maintain their beauty and allure, but some of their hygiene habits were downright bizarre. They were so strange that most people wouldn't even dream of trying them. In this video, I'll take you through 22 weird habits of Golden Age Hollywood celebrities that are as fascinating as they are shocking. Before we move forward, would you like to comment on the name of the classic Hollywood star you think was the weirdest of all? Greta Garbo's raw egg masks. Greta Garbo was known as the Swedish Sphinx, a nickname that reflected her mystique both on and off camera. Rumor has it that part of this allure stemmed from a rather unusual skincare secret: raw egg masks. Garbo would allegedly crack open a few eggs and apply the mixture directly to her face, letting it set before rinsing with cool water. This simple homemade mask was believed to tighten pores and firm the skin, an advantage when harsh studio lights magnified every tiny imperfection. Fans and beauty enthusiasts today might find the idea a bit messy and potentially smelly, but back then, it was far more common to experiment with kitchen staples. After all, cosmetic products were not as abundant or scientifically formulated as they are now. By using eggs, Garbo could quickly achieve that radiant, fresh-faced appearance she was famous for. Whether the mask truly worked wonders or simply felt refreshing, it became part of her mystique. The raw egg mask shows just how resourceful actresses had to be when there was no endless array of lotions, serums, and high-tech gadgets to help them shine on the silver screen. Vivien Leigh's ice water hair rinses. Vivien Leigh captured hearts worldwide with her portrayal of Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, and her striking beauty left a lasting impression. One lesser-known habit she reportedly had involved rinsing her dark hair in ice-cold water after washing. The frigid rinse was believed to help seal the hair's cuticles, adding extra shine and reducing frizz, a valuable tip when high-maintenance hairstyles were the norm in old Hollywood. While plunging your head into icy water might sound uncomfortable, Leigh was said to put her vanity before the chill, ensuring her hair always looked smooth on set. Some co-stars teased her for this brisk regimen, yet nobody could deny the luster it gave her locks under bright studio lights. Additionally, cold water was thought to invigorate the scalp and help maintain hair health during a time when heated styling tools were far less sophisticated than they are today. Vivien Leigh's devotion to this straightforward low-tech solution underscores the ingenuity of classic film stars, who often had to rely on simple, sometimes surprising methods to achieve the polished looks that defined Hollywood's golden age glamour. Tallulah Bankhead's baby oil tan. Tallulah Bankhead was famed for her husky voice, bold personality, and a penchant for doing things her own way. One of her most notable beauty quirks involved lathering herself with baby oil before lying out in the sun, an attempt to accelerate tanning at a time when a sun-kissed glow was becoming fashionable. While she certainly achieved a bronzed complexion, the method came with serious risks. Baby oil offers virtually no sun protection and can intensify the sun's rays. Bankhead, however, was undeterred, and her sun-kissed appearance became as much a signature as her gravelly laugh. Friends and colleagues expressed concerns about the potential harm, from painful burns to long-term skin damage, but Bankhead was known for her fearless, even reckless approach to life. In an era without widespread knowledge of SPF or the dangers of UV exposure, this habit didn't raise as many eyebrows as it might today. Still, Bankhead's baby oil routine highlights how old Hollywood stars often chased the latest beauty fad with little regard for the health consequences. Whether it was wise or not, her sun-drenched look remains part of her enduring legend. Elizabeth Taylor's Cleopatra milk baths. Elizabeth Taylor was a cinematic icon renowned for her violet eyes, glamorous lifestyle, and larger-than-life personality. When she took on the role of Cleopatra in the early 1960s, it sparked talk about her indulging in lavish milk baths, emulating the legendary Egyptian queen's rumored regimen. While the historical accuracy of Cleopatra's own milk baths can be debated, Taylor embraced the concept wholeheartedly to keep her skin soft and supple during the lengthy film shoot. The lactic acid in milk was believed to act as a gentle exfoliant, sloughing off dead skin cells for a radiant glow. Of course, the practice could be expensive and somewhat impractical. Large quantities of fresh milk had to be warmed, and lingering in a milky tub might not appeal to everyone's senses. Yet for Taylor, who lived in a world of grand gestures and luxurious habits, it fit perfectly with her image. Whether the baths truly enhanced her famously flawless skin or simply fed into the Cleopatra mystique, they remain one of the many legends surrounding her time in Hollywood, reminding fans how indulgence and curiosity often went hand in hand during cinema's golden years. Bird poop facials. A long time ago, some Hollywood stars were rumored to use face treatments made from nightingale droppings. This might sound shocking, but in certain beauty circles, these geisha facials were said to brighten the skin and remove dead cells. The droppings were believed to have enzymes that gently exfoliated, which made skin look fresh under bright studio lights. Despite the strange ingredients, this treatment was surprisingly popular among those seeking a quick glow. People who tried it claimed it gave them smoother, clearer complexions. However, the process was not for the faint of heart. Just the idea of putting sanitized bird poop on your face could make anyone squirm. Today, you can still find this facial in some high-end spas, though it's usually marketed in a more elegant way. While it may not be as common as other skincare trends, it goes to show how far some were willing to go for an extra bit of radiance on the big screen. Even if it's a bit gross, the Hollywood quest for beauty often led to eye-catching fads like this one. Back molars removed for cheekbones. In the golden age of Hollywood, Marlene Dietrich was famous for her striking face and high cheekbones. One rumor claimed that she went to the extreme of having her back molars removed just to give her cheeks a more defined look. This story has never been fully confirmed, but many fans and gossip columnists still swear by it. At the time, dramatic facial structure was a big deal because movie cameras couldn't capture subtle details as well as they do today. Dietrich was known for her strong image and her willingness to experiment with makeup tricks, angles, and lighting. Still, pulling healthy teeth solely for an aesthetic effect seems extreme, even by old Hollywood standards. The procedure, if it happened, must have been both painful and risky. Even if it's only a myth, it highlights the lengths some stars might have gone to maintain their carefully crafted personas. Whether true or not, the rumor serves as a reminder of how high the stakes were when it came to preserving a glamorous screen image. Cotton behind the lip. Gloria Graham was said to have a unique trick for looking more alluring on camera, tucking cotton or tissue behind her upper lip. This small adjustment could make her lips appear fuller and more pouty, especially during close-ups. Some people say you could spot it occasionally if the camera angle was just right. Why go through such trouble? Back then, cosmetic surgery and filler injections were not widely available or even as accepted, so a simple prop might do the trick. Of course, keeping cotton in your mouth isn't exactly comfortable. It could lead to drooling, dryness, or awkward moments if it slipped. Still, Graham was known for her seductive roles and iconic sultry look, so her unorthodox method may have paid off in spades. Today, makeup artists might rely on lip plumpers or strategic shading, but Gloria took a do-it-yourself approach that was both practical and risky. Whether it was genius or a bit odd, it certainly added to her enduring Hollywood mystique. Radioactive face creams. In the 1930s and 1940s, beauty science was not as advanced as it is today. Some companies actually put small amounts of radioactive materials like radium or thorium in face creams. The idea behind these products was that radioactivity could boost circulation and give the skin a healthy glow. Of course, this was before people fully understood the long-term dangers of radiation. Stars who tried these creams were often dazzled by the immediate effect, not realizing how harmful it could be over time. Radiation can cause serious skin damage, not to mention more severe health problems. Eventually, as studies about radioactivity came to light, these products were removed from the market. Looking back, it's shocking to think that such items were once sold as luxury beauty treatments. Yet in a film industry fixated on youth and radiance, anything promising a quick result was tempting. The radioactive face cream craze didn't last, but it remains a chilling example of how far some would go to keep their names, and faces, in the spotlight. Spermaceti, whale oil, in cosmetics. Golden Age Hollywood was a time before modern animal protection laws and widespread environmental awareness. Back then, A waxy substance called spermaceti, taken from the head cavities of sperm whales, was a common ingredient in beauty products. Creams, lotions, and lipsticks often used whale oil because it had a smooth, rich texture that helped lock in moisture. Even though it might sound odd today, many starlets liked it because it gave their skin a soft, velvety feel. Of course, there were ethical and ecological concerns even then, though they were rarely discussed in public. The film industry demanded perfection, and actresses were under constant pressure to look flawless. Spermaceti-infused products seemed like a quick fix. Over time, people became more conscious of the impact that whaling had on the ocean's ecosystem, and alternatives were developed. Nonetheless, the use of whale oil in beauty routines remains a strange chapter in Hollywood's quest for glamour. It reminds us just how many surprising ingredients were once considered the height of luxury. Face taping. Many old Hollywood actresses had a secret weapon for looking eternally youthful on film: face taping. Tiny pieces of surgical tape or adhesive were placed near the temples and behind the ears, pulling the skin tighter to hide wrinkles or sagging. In publicity photos, you'd never know it was there. Under bright studio lighting, though, it could be tricky to hide if the camera angle wasn't just right. Even so, it was a popular trick because plastic surgery was far riskier and less accepted back then. Face taping was also much cheaper and could be done on the spot before a shoot. The downside: it could be painful or leave marks once removed, not to mention the constant fear of the tape slipping at the worst time. Still, for a quick fix that gave actresses a more lifted look, it was worth the discomfort. Now we have more advanced methods like injectables and non-invasive lifts, but face taping paved the way as an early, if rudimentary, version of the instant facelift. Rita Hayworth's olive oil hair soak. When you think of classic Hollywood glamour, Rita Hayworth's flowing red hair often comes to mind. Her secret wasn't a pricey salon treatment, but rather a simple olive oil soak. She would massage olive oil from roots to ends, then wrap her hair in a towel to let it really sink in. After a while, she rinsed the oil out with hot water and lemon juice, which helped remove excess grease and left her strands shiny and soft. At a time when hair products weren't as advanced, this natural approach gave her tresses a unique luster on camera. The downside? It could be messy, and if she didn't rinse thoroughly, her hair might look weighed down. But fans and critics alike praised her love goddess appeal, and her luscious locks were a big part of that. Today, hair masks and treatments often have fancy names and hefty price tags. Yet Rita's budget-friendly trick shows how simple ingredients can sometimes create legendary results in front of the cameras. Bleaching body hair. In an era when lighting on movie sets was strong and every tiny detail could show on film, some Hollywood stars used hair bleach to hide fine facial or body hair. Rather than shave or wax, they lightened the hair so it was nearly invisible under the glare of the studio lights. Elizabeth Taylor was rumored to do this, although many other actresses might have tried it too. Bleaching was less invasive than plucking or shaving, and it helped maintain a consistent look day after day. The downside was the harsh chemicals and strong smell, which could irritate sensitive skin. Nonetheless, it was a quick solution for anyone wanting a perfect, smooth appearance without the risk of razor burn or waxing mishaps. These bleaches weren't as gentle as modern formulas, so they required careful timing to avoid burns or unwanted bright spots. Still, it was just another way old Hollywood went to great lengths to ensure every close-up looked flawless. Lucille Ball's henna hair dye. Lucille Ball, best known for her comedic genius, was also famous for her vibrant red hair. But she wasn't a natural redhead. She was originally a brunette. To achieve that fiery color, she reportedly used henna and, later on, stronger chemical dyes. Henna, a plant-based dye, can be messy to apply. It also has a distinct, earthy smell that might not be everyone's cup of tea. Despite these drawbacks, it gave Lucy's hair a rich, eye-catching hue that became her signature. In those days, the idea of a comedic actress standing out with such a bold look was quite clever. Viewers remembered her instantly, and it helped her brand as an entertainer. Over time, she shifted to more modern dyes, but henna laid the foundation for that iconic color. Even though it was relatively mild compared to other old Hollywood tricks, It still required dedication, regular touch-ups, and sometimes unpredictable results. Lucille Ball's success showed that when it comes to personal style, sometimes taking a colorful risk can pay off in a big way. Grace Kelly's subtle contouring. Before contouring became a modern makeup craze, Grace Kelly was already experimenting with it to enhance her delicate features. She would use 2 different shades of blush, a lighter pink for the apples of her cheeks and a slightly deeper tone just beneath the cheekbones. Under the bright lights of a movie set, this gently defined her face without looking harsh. Unlike some of the more extreme Hollywood beauty secrets, Grace's approach was quite gentle and discreet. It was less about drastic transformation and more about subtle enhancement. Friends and makeup artists admired how she could make her porcelain skin and perfect bone structure even more striking with just a few simple tricks. No dangerous chemicals or painful procedures, just a careful blend of color. This mild yet effective technique remains popular today, proving that sometimes the simplest ideas stand the test of time. Grace Kelly's contouring reminds us that old Hollywood glamour wasn't always about taking huge risks. Often, it was the quiet details that made the biggest impact. Jean Harlow's platinum obsession. Jean Harlow was one of the first Hollywood blonde bombshells, but her stunning look came with a painful price. In the 1930s, hair dye was much harsher than anything we have today. She went through frequent bleaching sessions that involved a mixture of peroxide and ammonia. This was meant to keep her hair as close to pure white as possible, a shade that made her stand out against the dark-haired stars of the era. Sadly, the relentless chemical treatments caused her scalp to blister and her hair to thin drastically. Yet she persisted, driven by the demand for her striking appearance that fit her on-screen persona. Jean's platinum look became so iconic that women everywhere rushed to mimic it, often with their own fair share of scalp burns. While Harlow's star power soared, her physical discomfort remained a hidden cost of fame. She passed away tragically at the young age of 26, leaving behind a legacy of glamour tinged with caution. Even today, Hollywood stylists recount Jean Harlow's story as a reminder that sometimes beauty can come with a very real sacrifice. Carole Lombard's ice-cold showers. Carole Lombard was celebrated for her comedic talents and vivacious spirit, but she also had an unusually frosty approach to her morning routine. Each day, she took a shockingly cold shower. Long before modern cryotherapy became a trend, Lombard believed that a burst of icy water helped tighten her skin and keep it looking bright. She also thought it invigorated her circulation and gave her a lively glow when she stepped in front of the camera. Friends and co-stars noted that it took an iron will to stick with this habit, especially given that most people prefer a steamy, comforting start to the day. But Lombard was known for her no-nonsense approach and her commitment to staying on top of her game. Critics admired her youthful appearance, which she attributed in large part to her chilly showers. Although such a routine might seem extreme, especially for that era, it illustrates how stars went to great lengths for even minor aesthetic advantages. Lombard's comedic timing and radiant presence were undeniably top-notch, and she made sure her morning ritual supported her natural vibrancy on and off the screen. Joan Crawford's fear of germs. Joan Crawford was admired for her dramatic performances and fierce screen presence, but off-set, she battled an intense fear of germs. Some claimed she exhibited signs of obsessive-compulsive tendencies, though nothing was formally diagnosed. Reports suggest she'd scrub her hands so often that they sometimes bled from the harsh soaps and constant friction. Household staff members were also kept on their toes. Crawford insisted that every surface be wiped clean regularly, ensuring no hint of dirt lingered. She carried this approach into her personal relationships and famously strict parenting style, where cleanliness was emphasized above almost everything else. Critics have said that her cleanliness zeal might have been a response to the stressful atmosphere of early Hollywood, where an actress's image could be tarnished by even the smallest perceived flaw. While her tidiness earned Joan a reputation for being difficult, many co-workers respected her discipline and admired how polished she always appeared. Her on-screen performances remain legendary, and her fastidious habits only add another layer to the complex personality that made her such a commanding figure in Hollywood's golden age. Ava Gardner's perfume preference. Ava Gardner exuded a natural beauty that many felt needed no embellishment. Yet, she had one quirk that set her apart from her peers. She often skipped traditional baths or showers, opting instead to douse herself in perfume. Known for her wild, free-spirited lifestyle, Gardner didn't see the need for a fussy routine. She gravitated toward bold, lingering fragrances that left a lasting impression wherever she went. Friends and acquaintances reportedly commented on how her signature scent would remain in a room well after she departed. This strong aroma became part of her mystique, underscoring her carefree attitude. Some found it unusual or even off-putting, but others argued that it fit her adventurous persona perfectly. After all, she was never one to follow the rules strictly, whether in her travels, her love affairs, or her grooming habits. Despite any raised eyebrows, Ava's confident approach to personal style was a reflection of her bold on-screen presence. Even now, her perfume habit stands as a testament to the unorthodox ways some stars used to maintain their unique brand of Hollywood allure. Bette Davis's petroleum jelly trick. Bette Davis's eyes were so famous they inspired a hit song decades later. Part of the secret to their mesmerizing quality involved a common household staple, petroleum jelly. Davis liked to dab it on her eyelids before going on camera. The glossy effect caught the studio lights perfectly, making her eyes appear larger and more dramatic. This was at a time when specialized eyeshadow primers didn't exist, so creative solutions were key. Critics might point out that putting petroleum jelly too close to the eyes could be risky, possibly causing blurred vision or irritation if it migrated onto the eyeball. But Davis was devoted to achieving the look that would keep audiences spellbound. She wasn't afraid to experiment, which fits her bold, pioneering spirit, as an actress willing to play unconventional roles. The slight sheen became her signature look, adding to the overall intensity of her performances. Even as makeup technology evolved, people still remember Bette Davis for those luminous eyes, a testament to her willingness to try something different to leave an unforgettable mark on Hollywood history. Marilyn Monroe's Vaseline habit. Marilyn Monroe had many beauty tricks, but one of her most curious was applying petroleum jelly all over her face at bedtime. She believed it helped lock in moisture, maintaining the soft, dewy complexion that made her a global icon. This nightly ritual might raise eyebrows today, since covering the face with such a heavy product can clog pores and potentially lead to breakouts. Yet Marilyn found that her skin woke up feeling ultra-hydrated and luminous, perfect for the close-up shots that catapulted her to stardom. Friends say she rarely strayed from this habit, insisting it was a crucial part of her beauty arsenal. For a woman under constant media scrutiny, perhaps the simplicity of this single product was comforting. While it might not be universally recommended, it shows how strongly she valued smooth, radiant skin. This routine arguably contributed to her image as a symbol of glamour, even if it was a bit unconventional. Like many old Hollywood secrets, Marilyn's Vaseline trick was all about achieving that extra edge in a competitive industry, demonstrating that sometimes the simplest solutions can define an enduring legend. Errol Flynn's rare baths. Errol Flynn was the ultimate swashbuckling hero on screen, dashing, fearless, and always ready for adventure. Off-screen, he had a reputation for being equally bold in his personal life, which included skipping regular baths or showers. While many Golden Age stars were overly conscious of hygiene and appearance, Flynn took a decidedly casual approach. Rumors suggest he could go days, or even longer, without any sort of wash. This might have clashed with Hollywood's polished image, but part of his charm was rooted in that wild, roguish persona. Co-stars occasionally complained about his lack of cleanliness, but studio executives often looked the other way because of his box office draw. Perhaps Flynn's aversion to daily grooming aligned with his carefree attitude toward life, which included sailing around the world and engaging in countless off-screen escapades. For better or worse, he didn't conform to the usual standards. Like many Golden Age icons, he cultivated a public face that thrilled audiences, even if his private habits were far from glamorous. Today, his refusal to bathe regularly is just another chapter in the mythic tales surrounding one of Hollywood's most colorful figures, Marlene Dietrich's shaving routine. Marlene Dietrich was synonymous with elegance and innovation. Behind that flawless image lay a lesser-known practice. She reportedly shaved her face to get rid of tiny hairs and create a perfectly smooth canvas for makeup. She believed that removing peach fuzz allowed cosmetics to apply more evenly, giving her a luminous look under intense studio lights. Shaving also served as a mild exfoliation, taking away dead skin cells that could dull her complexion. At the time, this might have seemed radical, especially for a woman. But Dietrich was known for challenging norms, whether through her androgynous fashion choices or her sultry, unforgettable screen presence. Did she worry about stubble growing back thicker? Possibly, but many experts now say that's largely a myth. Her strategy reportedly worked wonders for her on-camera glow. By leaning into such an unconventional trick, Dietrich showed she was never afraid to push boundaries in the pursuit of cinematic perfection. Her willingness to shave her face was just one more step in a broader pattern of bold decisions that shaped her legacy as a true Hollywood original. Cary Grant's ice-cold face splashes. Cary Grant was admired for his sophisticated charm, impeccable suits, and a face that seemed to resist aging. One of his low-key secrets involved splashing ice-cold water on his skin multiple times a day. He believed that this habit helped tighten his pores, reduce puffiness, and keep him looking bright-eyed, ideal for those close-up shots that defined him as a suave leading man. While he didn't champion the practice as a miracle cure, others took note when they saw how refreshed he appeared on set. It's a simple routine that requires no fancy gadgets or lotions, just a bowl of chilled water. Even though it seems mild compared to some of Hollywood's more extreme beauty tactics, it underscores a desire to stay youthful in a cutthroat industry. Additionally, the cold water splash may have provided a quick jolt of energy, a perk in an era of grueling filming schedules and long days. Cary Grant's refined style and timeless looks are still admired today, and his penchant for an occasional ice water facial remains a neat, fuss-free reminder of how small habits can contribute to a polished screen image. Some more weird habits that were almost illegal. Some stars were known to skip bathing entirely for days or weeks. Errol Flynn, in particular, developed a reputation for his refusal to wash regularly. While skipping showers isn't illegal, consistent neglect of basic hygiene was certainly considered outrageous, especially under hot studio lights. In the 1930s and 1940s, some Hollywood-endorsed beauty products contained radioactive ingredients like radium or thorium. Similarly, harsh bleaching agents, sometimes mixed at home, could skirt regulations or be sold through questionable channels. Marlene Dietrich was said to have had her back molars removed to accentuate her cheekbones, a practice sometimes whispered about other stars too. Removing healthy teeth for strictly cosmetic reasons could raise ethical concerns about the dentist's role. Although not strictly a hygiene habit, stories circulate of Hollywood studios allegedly pushing young actors, especially actresses, to use amphetamine speed or rumored tapeworm diet pills to stay thin. Before modern shampoos and dyes were developed, some bleaching or hair straightening treatments contained formaldehyde or other toxic chemicals at higher than safe levels. Repeated exposure could cause severe scalp burns, hair loss, and systemic toxicity.